One that comes to mind first is I lived in California. I had 2 kids, and we traveled from California to my parents' house in Weston, Missouri to spend Thanksgiving. And we were all getting ready like that Wednesday evening, preparing food, and we were all like singing and dancing while we were getting ready and just having like a fantastic time. And that is like honestly one of my most cherished memories.
I think my favorite memory with my mom growing up had to be just our love for sports together, going to Royals games, and her taking me to my sporting events, going to my brother's. I think that's definitely my favorite memory with her.
A memory I have with my mom is just being one of 5 kids. She's always been our biggest fan, whether it was making sure our bows were good for cheerleading or joining real estate. She's always been a big supporter at anything I do.
My favorite memory of my mom is after the first year that I finished college, I came home and she surprised me with Dixie Chicks concert tickets. They were on the floor and we danced all night long and sang, and it was the best time.
So our favorite memory is kind of an annual tradition of making Christmas cookies because it also goes along with us putting on the record player, playing these old records of Christmas songs other people might have not even heard. I know I've played a few around the office and people have never heard them before. So do that, rolling the dough out. We use these old 1960s cookie cutters that my mother used with her grandmother as well. So it kind of brings in a lot of traditions from a lot of years together.
So my favorite memory is a little bit weird. It's whenever my sister and I were running track together in high school, and we were actually in a relay at the state level, and I was handing off to her. My mom was in the stands. She has an old school video camera, and she was filming the entire thing, but whenever it came to the actual handoff itself, she started screaming so loud and not paying attention that she just shot footage of the sky. So to this day, the only footage that we have of the best race of our entire existence is of the blue sky and her screaming and yelling in the background.
My favorite memory of my mom. I don't think I could narrow it down to one answer, but I would say all of the vacations we took while I was growing up.
So we went to a concert one time together, and it was her first concert, and I was, telling her how to do the whole ropes of, getting an Uber and going to the concert and then getting an Uber to leave. Well, we could not get an Uber, so we had to walk in the dark with a whole group of people. Our phones died. We couldn't get a hold of anybody. It was like the worst experience, but also the funniest because that was like her first time ever doing that. And so to this day, it's just like a fun memory. And actually, I don't think we ever told my husband or my dad about it. So, but yeah, it was fun.
My favorite memory of my mom is when she would attend all my field trips during the school, and we go garage selling together and getting our nails done.
Favorite memory? There's a lot of them, but I would say maybe my wedding day. So there was, in the hours leading up to the wedding, there was just a lot of stuff kind of going wrong, and it was high stress. And my mom just kind of came alongside me, and so like my tux didn't fit, and so she was there with me to get me down to the tux place and get everything fixed, and just her providing that support, just like she had done all my entire life up until that day. It's just a special memory with her.
So the biggest lesson I learned from my mom is that basically life is not always easy, and you think by quitting that, it'll be over and you can then move on to something new, when really what's most rewarding is working through the hard times and getting to the other side.
Biggest lesson I've learned from my mom is to just be kind to others. My mom is a very fun person, but she's always kind to anybody and everybody out there, and I use that in my life now, just to treat people how I want to be treated.
My mom has taught me to be assertive and to stand up for what I believe in, even if I'm the only one standing.
The biggest lesson that I learned from my mom is how important friendship is. She's always put all of her friends first and really created great bonds, and that taught me to do the same with mine.
So the biggest lesson I learned from my mom was actually grit. There's a lot of examples of it growing up on the farm, but the best example I have of most recently was she was going through cancer treatment, and she did not let it stop her at all. Most people have low energy and don't get out, and she did not miss a step. She was doing everything she was normally doing. The only thing that changed was she wore a jacket in the middle of summer because she was so cold. But other than that, she just pushed through, and we all thought that she was getting a lower radiation dose or something because she was so able to push through it, and that was a great example of grit.
Biggest lesson that I've learned from my mom is to really just believe in yourself and to know that there's always a bigger plan out there for you. So no matter how many times life kicks you or whatever happens, that there's so much more to live for and to give, and she's the most giving person I've ever met in my entire life.
The biggest lesson I've learned from my mom is probably to always be kind.
Biggest lesson would be just to, always work hard in whatever you do. She's a super hard worker, and I think I get that from her, and so I would say that would be it.
The biggest lesson that my mom has taught me is a lot to do with relationships. She's been my rock through a lot of them, so I wouldn't be who I am today without her.
Lots of lessons learned from my mom, but maybe the biggest one would be not always having to share your opinion. So I come from a pretty opinionated family, and I myself am pretty opinionated, but my mom shows a lot of wisdom in that, and knowing when is the right time to share an opinion and when's the best time to not. And so I just have always appreciated that wisdom that I learned from her.
My message to my mom, just to, if life gets crazy for you and you lose your head, I will always be there for you to roll it back up to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for all your help and support and making me who I am today.
Mom, you've been a great example of poise, hard work, and dedication. And us and the 4 other kids love you very much. We appreciate all the sacrifices that you've made for us, all the experiences that you've brought to our life, and we can never do anything to pay you back for making us the people that we are today.
Happy Mother's Day, Mom. Thank you for all you've done for me and our family, and don't blow up the comments too much on this.
I think I would just first say Happy Mother's Day and that I love her, but also just say that I cannot imagine a better mom that I could have had, and I'm so blessed that she's mine.
I love you, Mom. You're the best. You're always there for me, and I really appreciate you. Love you.
Happy Mother's Day, Mom. I'm so glad to have you in my life, that you're grandmother to my girls now. We're an amazing mother. You are an amazing mother that I can go to for advice, and I just thank you for everything you've done for me.
Happy Mother's Day, Mom. I love and appreciate you so much. Thank you for everything you do for me.
I love you, Mom. Thank you for everything you've done. Happy Mother's Day.
I was blessed to have my mom in my life for as long as I did, and she was, as far as moms go, not always the easiest mom, but really the best mom that I could have ever asked for. She supported me through almost everything, and not by telling me that everything was okay, but by really helping me through things, and pushing me to be the best me in a very mom and supportive kind of way. And so for that, I'm just grateful.